To race 5 of the Atomic World Challenge on St. Parker Street Circuit. We're starting today on Jockey, who is currently in the 3rd position, and we are on an awesome parade lap. If you've raced with us in Fukara, you will have seen this race before. It is an amazing race. There's a little section in here that's 2 areas you can take different paths, but there's slow down points in it. So you have to be really careful about which direction you go. Regardless, it's a lot of fun. It's made by Jack LM, and we've had probably 2 or 3 races here that I've thoroughly enjoyed. We have a little bumping and rubbing going on right in the parade lap here. But yeah, while you have an opportunity, really absorb this track and see exactly how it's phased up, because it is made exceptionally well, and there's not a lot of, I guess the thing is there's not a lot of trick to this track, but there's a lot of stylization and technique to how you drive it, especially in areas like here where you really want to take a lot of outside momentum, but if you try to use the outside momentum, it'll end up hurting you. So we have begun the race. We're starting here with the Jockey. There's SAS Montana, who's once again got the pole position, and he's proven to be a as a new guy this last race. He definitely proved that he has got what it takes to move up into the top positions here. RPM has moved over to a different car, I think, to be a little bit more competitive. And that's the thing is he's not somebody to sit idly by and let his championship rose away. He's not had a very good chance of winning with some of these races just because of the way the competitiveness is. But that's the thing is it's a very competitive race, and even if you really are a really good player, having a hard time and basically holding the reins on you, it keeps you strapped in. So it's been a problem for some players, especially even good players. There's a little tap and rub for Montana, and Montana gets rear-ended by Geezer and gets spun around. So there's RP moving. We've already had some comments about being hit, and they just drove past him. All right, so okay, so I checked real quick, and the 1:13 is the par time for this race, and we're on Sneaky, the fearless leader of this organization, who puts everything together, picks all the tracks, and in general does really well at racing. I am 100% sure that the reason that Sneaky doesn't win all these races is because he knows that he's running things, and he holds back a little bit in most of the races, and even then he still does really well the points because he doesn't miss any races. But the other thing is that when we first started off, it was very tough to get players to stick with it because of the new settings it was. And something really cool happened after the 2nd season. That was people started asking for it, and they wanted to be part of something that was consistent, and now we have it. So let's check it out. So what are we saying? 113. So we got 114s right now all the way down the road, except for the 115s after shed. Montana pulling on a 118, and Sneaky getting hit here. This new player, Voodoo, is actually the old champion of Season 1. For those of you who remember, and for some reason I'm already forgetting the name that he used when he was racing before. So here he is pulling in behind Sneaky. So Sneaky's already taken that position. Comet's a tough car to go by. And says RPM. Yeah, RPM is still pushing that position up top. So we'll move up to Juxtree, see how that competition is boiling up there. One of the great things about having a part-time is the ability to reel people in so that they can only get so fast in their competition. Wow, that was a 114.003 from RPM. That you can't get any on the edge than that, right? As Juxtree continues to try to push, but RPM is definitely faster. And like you said, even with the part-time, if somebody can get that close to the edge, Juxtree is just pushing. So let's go to FSX-Me. Another big-time competitor that always shows up to events now for AWC. Looks like he's got a front bumper full of sneaky here. And he's got Montana. Let's go to Montana because Montana was, like you said, with his last race, he was just amazing with how he dominated the whole race. Nice, smooth racing, nice, smooth lines, just kept his position. And now I'm guessing that after getting basically just railroaded at the beginning of the race, that he's trying to find a way to just meander his way to the front. He had some really good lap times, but again, with part-time races, it really is about consistency versus, who's the fastest. But he is throwing down some consistent laps, and here he is overtaking Sneaky. I keep hitting the wrong button, so just bear with me here. You don't get to practice much before you actually get in the race. But here's Sneaky getting overtaken by FSX-Me, and he's not laying down on the thing there. He's just taking more speed into it. But Montana is he didn't get a good run off that corner, but he's definitely got a competitive run. Dropping up to Geezer. And Geezer is one of those competitive guys that had a very good season and was doing really well, and now it looks like he's fallen way back. He's got a lot of damage to the front of his car. Some days you have good days, and some days you have bad days, and some seasons just don't work out for you. So we're going to move up to Juxtree, who I'm sure is 100% giving RPM a bumper full of joy as he moves up on his position. But nope, Juxtree has got a lot of room between him and RPM. RPM is just dominating that position up there. So let's move back to, let's see, we'll go to FSX-Me while we're checking out the par times, seeing how people are going here. I am almost 100% the RPM is gonna end up. Yeah, see the 113s. There we go. There they are. 113.12. Juxtree getting a better lap in his vehicle. That LG Retro is a good car for this track. Shed, Sneaky, Geezer have not been able to really move around with their time, but there's FS-Me pushing his way as Montana just settles into his position. Good solid lines. We're seeing this the Comet. Don't know what happened, where it came from, what happened to it, and why it did what it did, but the Comet just came out of nowhere and decided it was going to be the car of choice for a lot of players. And last week, it pretty much dominated the field. This week, it's not around as much, but everybody gave me super positive input about the Comet, and I'm guessing that after today's race, it may actually make a comeback. Oh, long way out. Oh, FX-Me. And we have rain on the track. So that may be a problem for players. We'll see how that works out for the long run. And I'm guessing the par times are going to go down because of it. But FSX Me does not care because he is rolling in a 112. And there it, oh, is that? Yeah, that's Voodoo moving in on Juxury. So Juxury may not have been able to catch up with RPM. But Voodoo, on the other hand, is definitely giving him a rear view mirror full of his car. And Juxury's definitely not on pace for his turns. Man, he is, whoa, into the wall. Big crash. We got one today. Everybody's looking for the big crash, and there you go. That looked absolutely painful as he takes another piece of a wall out. I'm wondering if there's any damage to that car that's slowing him down, because he is way off the pace now. Juxury has moved some distance away, so that's gonna give him some interesting competition right there. Let's move up to RPM, check him out. I mean he's up there in first. You might as well give him a little attention, right? We give the old RPM a lot of attention, and if you can see, he's driving an electric car today, which is amazing in the turns and amazing on takeoffs. And for this track today, it is definitely doing what it needs to do. Is electrics in our future? Don't know. Maybe. All right. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. We're going to jump over to where's our guy here? Ricky Bobby first. Ricky Bobby is always in every race, never misses a race. Even when he's not doing well in the points, he does pretty well in the points just because, well, he's got a nice looking car, and he shows up to every race, so he always does well. Has not been able to find a par car, though, and that's really the trick here. Is there comes times in that maybe finding the faster car and trying to get on par that way is sometimes the better option, especially with the par style racing that allows for newer players to get in. And I think that he comes in, he just has fun with it, and I've always been happy to have him around. So let's go over to FSX Shed. Shows up at again every race. The FS is some sort of racing league. So these guys are kind of a troop, and they're actually related. I believe that Shed is I think FX Me's dad or father or something. So, but I'm not really sure. Regardless, he does show out and he does show support, and he does fill up the field. So it's really cool to see these guys racing together. And then, of course, the man that created the stock car racing series for us, originally in the Most Wanted, was the grandiose Chewy. What he doesn't make up for in speed, he makes up for in the beauty of the cars that he drives. And unfortunately, right now, he is getting lapped by RPM. So now we're going to move back and see where Montana is, because Montana, it appears, has caught up to that position. And there's Voodoo right there. And we can see those guys up front there. I'm guessing that's a little lap traffic from Chewy. FSME still with the 112. A little bit of high on the 112, like a low 112. But regardless, that's the kind of lap time you need if you want to take over. Everything else up top seems to be 113s, and I'm guessing they're resting around 113s. And as we see him coming up on Chewy right now, I'm sure he's going to take that lap traffic really well. And just look at that field of Comets. And that one rogue Raiden up in the front. It really makes me wonder if that's going to be the car of choice. Somebody missed a checkpoint. So, the question today is, can Montana catch up with Juxtree? That's really there. I mean, that's him off in the distance there. And we've seen that these lap times are similar around the track here. So it always makes you wonder at how they catch up when you look at their lap times, and it's like, look, the lap times are all similar, but yet they're catching up. He's been taking, it looked like he really took that turn really, really slow. So I don't know if Juxtree may be having trouble or... And I'm gonna stick with Montana a little bit here because, like I said, I just feel like Juxtree's a little off the pace, but that could be just me. I don't know. The biggest thing that I have when it comes to focusing on this stuff is finding that perfect angle for the cars to. But whoa, is that was Shed? So he got had a little bit of a problem with his car. I'm wondering if he had a little problem with somebody up front. Does it look like somebody else? Yeah, there looks like a pack of 4 people up there. Woo, thunder. That made my controller rattle. So yeah, so getting these angles is kind of difficult because you're listening to them talking at the same time that you're... Oh my gosh, everybody got pulled together because Ricky is having issues. And then Ricky says to not whine like a baby when he runs into one of the lap traffic. That's crazy. What's so wrong with this car? He's all over the place. And Montana, I'm sure, is like chomping at the bit to get up there because those guys are like right in on top of him. And I don't want to move up because you just sit there and look at it and like make it happen, you know. Oh, and Ricky, there it is. So was there some reason that the distance was a problem, or... So we're going to move up to Juxtree because he's back on RPM's taillights here. And there's a big fight going on here. And Juxtree is trying to find a place to pass. Can he make it happen? Is it even feasible? He's definitely faster. Oh, he's little tail happy. Juxtree is notorious for his bump and run. So if he sees him run out and he's got a run on him, there's a good opportunity he can give RPM a little love tap and then move in. And there's a strong move. That's a lot of momentum. Can he make something happen with that momentum? And RPM's car is just moving. You can tell with the body roll on. Oh, strong move, Juxtree. Nope. See, the 0 to 60 of that electric car, this is where it's going to make it really problematic. The LG does not have that massive top end speed. It's got a it's pretty good at takeoff. It's not going to be as good as RPM's car. Oh, the Raiden, that is. But it's good with carrying energy between the corners here. And that's where the problem is going to come into play, because RPM is just going to be a little bit faster on the gas, but our Juxtry is going to be able to move a lot of momentum through the corners. So as you can see, he's trying to find a way to kind of maximize those two areas, and what you have is that Raiden is a little bit faster. And what the other thing that you have to remember is the more that these guys fight it out up here, the closer that Montana gets. But this is a massive battle here, and the only reason this is where the Elegy Retro. Oh, he's just gonna start whacking him here, completely sideways, all the momentum, and then RPM just pulls away. It's got to be painful to be sitting in that driver's seat and watching it go down. It just you want to get involved in it. You want to, like, can you kick the car to go a little bit faster, because now we're back to, you know, that Raiden is carrying a lot more momentum now, and that that was it. A little bit of slide. Our Juxtry couldn't decide on the side to pass him on, and now he's stuck back in that position again. This rain has definitely put a dampener on this track, and some people are loving it and some people are not happy with it at all. But as for those of us who are watching this race, I'm pretty sure 100% that you love this just because of the competitiveness. Look at Montana moving in on this position. He is stalking that position, and with that speed, if he can get in with that fight. Oh, there he goes. Watch, there he goes. He's gonna move it away. And, RPM entered first, so he lost it for a second, and then there's Montana, the 770. Wow. I don't even want to dodge to look at this, but I just want to see it. So Montana. So we're still in. There's nothing's really changed on the leaderboard. So that this fight right now is right here on the field, and it's right on that par time. So now a call went out to say, if you see a clump of 3 cars coming at you, those are the top guys battling it out, and they battle it out right on the start-finish line. So I don't know how this is going to tear out. Is it going to end up being that Juxtry just has to crash RPM to take the lead, and is he willing to do that? Is Montana moving back right now just because he wants to see them battle it out? And inside line, that's a hard, Juxtry is, that's how you move a position. RPM, though, not wanting to let that go. Montana just hanging back right now. I don't know if he's just not involved in the fight or doesn't want to be in it because it's just so heated, but it just feels like Juxtry is about 0.5, about 0.5 of a second faster, and it's, even though it's not showing up in this middle part here, it's coming in. Oh, there was the bump and rub. What'd I tell you? That was it. That was the pass that I was looking for. I knew it was going to do it. And RPM is not going to let that fly. There he is. He's going to hunt him. I'm going to move back to Montana here, because now Montana might try to make something of that. Now I feel like I'm too far back. And I'm looking for the end of the race. Montana, there it is. Now that's a 770. Does he have the power? He's going to have the top end, but he's definitely not going to have the takeoff. Juxtry's now moving away from the first place position. And again, as we talked earlier, RPM has not had much luck with doing anything with this. And there's Juxtry, who I believe took home some title at some point. I think he was we have a kind of a world championship title that used to happen once a year, but and he won that last year at the same time that the second season of this was going on. So yeah, he's nothing to scoff at, and he's taking RPM to the cleaners right now. And RPM is just kind of sitting in this position, waiting for the moment, if you will. But he's really pushing. You can tell from the way the body roll is in that car that he's putting everything into it. See, that's a tough turn. I mean, hitting that turn like that is not helping him. It's, you want to do a little bit faster. Chewy now lap traffic is going to break up the monotony. Okay, so the rain has dried up. So the question is that going to help? Who's that going to help? Who's that going to be? Who's that going to put together? It looks like the 770 has just been gaining, and there's some big scrapes on the side of his car for RPM. And banging against the wall like that, you can see, like I said, you dropped a lot of speed, and that's the thing. Some players will use that kind of wall banging to get their spring to compress a little bit better and get better speed. And it's not working out. Not here, not especially with cars that were designed to go the lap time that they're going. It just ends up slowing them down. So there's that lap traffic. Just kind of proved to slow everybody down a little bit. There's Montana. Wow, that looked like a lot of momentum coming up on Juxtry. I think most of them were an optical illusion than anything. Or maybe that, finally that electric car is seeing, oh, Montana. People are asking for a caution to pull everything together for them so that they can, in some competitiveness to this race. But I don't think big, huge move on Juxtry. Juxtry spins him around, takes a piece of it himself, keeps in the position, and there's the move into it. Montana. Huge crash, big rear end on Juxtry. Wow. My, how things change in the blink of an eye. First there were 3. Now there are 2. And since the rain has gone away, RPM has the power now. So let's look at the lap times here. 112.9 from FSX Me has been the going rate today, with 113s around the board. It's been very tough to keep up with the lap times for these guys, but to be honest, they've been doing 113s and they've been doing them all day. Yep, the rain, and we're already hearing the report that RPM, without the rain, has found his momentum once again. And now he is going to start running away like he was before. And there's Juxtry going for the gusto, trying to bring something back from this. And they used a lot of momentum. See, when you're not battling it out, you can actually use a lot of it. But I'm just wondering if they were saying that the top speeds of the cars were hurting, and with the electric car, they didn't have much of a top speed to begin with. So as you can see right there, there's the distances being created. So Montana didn't get dropped back too far, but let's see if Voodoo is coming up on anybody. It's like suddenly a 770 is no longer competitive. Did Voodoo take the position yet, or has he got a lot of distance? No, he's still back there. And then we can drop back to FSX Me. And the beauty that is the Comet. Was that geezer behind him? Nope. Probably just lap traffic. Another Comet. Nothing but air. So we're going to move back over to Jockey, who I'm going to say is slowly being outstripped with by a faster car. Yep. Once the sun came out, the power of the electric came back to life. That's amazing to think of how much of the rain changed the way this race was happening. It just amazes me. And I mean, we were in the middle of a heated competition between Montana, and then he hit the wall. And I think he still would have had a competition with Jockey if he hadn't done that. And he's a guy he's all about consistency. So there's your end. So that was it. RPM Jockey. As we see somebody move around the back end of the track there. I'm guessing that was Voodoo. Hopefully we'll move over to FSX. Or me, that is. We drop back to Ricky. Now let's go up to Geezer. Yeah, people were looking for a four-way battle on this, and it's unfortunate because, yeah, that rain changed everything. So they're going to complain that the rain wasn't good enough, and my opinion is that the rain was the best thing that happened in the race. It made the best competitive racing we've seen, and I was happy to see it. Thank you guys for tuning in to AWC. Tune in next week. Same time, same place for the next round. Talk to you then. Bye.